Welcome back to Mustache Moto. It's Ben. We're in St. Mary's, West Virginia. It's 7 a.m. and we're about to ride the Trail of Dragons. All right, before we head on down the road today, I wanted to mention this is the Trail of Dragons. This is the first in a series of 5 videos on the 5 dragon roads. Make sure you subscribe if you want to follow all of them. I didn't know about this road until I started researching this whole ride I'm doing. This is about 260 miles in West Virginia of some amazing, amazing looking roads. All right, so there's the full state of West Virginia. We are in St. Mary's right here. I don't know how well you can see this, but look at the squiggles on here, squiggles on here. We're gonna take 16 the entire way. Let's see, I kind of lose it here. Out here, super squiggly, come down here, and we're gonna go all the way to Bishop in the southernmost corner of West Virginia. So this should be unbelievable riding. West Virginia is fantastic. Almost every road I've ever been on is great. Lots of small towns, some hopefully really cool stuff to see. The really cool thing about St. Mary's, West Virginia is that these railroad tracks run right down the center of Main Street in town, and these are active tracks. Apparently they have several trains a day, but unfortunately there's no schedule, and they're kind of random, so they seem random to us. I'm sure there's a schedule for them, but it's not published, so there's no way to know and predict when you're going to be able to see one, and none came through while I was here. And look, if you notice, there's no guardrails of any kind on the road. Pretty cool. All right, folks, sometimes you just got to laugh at yourself. I was wondering why the road was not nearly as twisty as it looked on the map, and that's because I'm on the wrong road. I left St. Mary's on Highway 2 instead of Highway 16. I just wasn't paying attention, and 1 cup of coffee just didn't cut it this morning. So we're backtracking. I went about 15 or 20 miles down the road, probably 15. So I had to turn around, come 15 back, all the way to past the hotel, and we should be right on 16 after that. So, oh well, all part of the adventure. Oh, look at that. Glad I wasn't here when that happened. People are running to it. It must have just happened. Wow. Nothing I can do for them. They got people there. Jeez. All right, this is more like it. Immediately uphill into some turns. All right, Highway 16. I'm really excited about this road. It looks fantastic. The first leg of the Dragon Roads. This is the Trail of Dragons. I have not ridden the majority of Highway 16. I've done a little piece in the southern end, but none of this further north. 260 miles, 268 miles, something like that, of what looks fantastic. And I'm excited too because I like these kind of roads that you get some good twisties and then you dip into some civilization, little tiny town, give you some visual stimulation, something cool to see, and then you're back out and at it again. So it's kind of a back and forth, and that really works well with the way my mind works. Just I enjoy that variety. So yeah, right, we're off the bat, we're turning. Clearly, I wasn't paying attention on that other road. Weather is pretty unsettled, so obviously it's foggy right now. I think we're going to be popping in and out of some rain today. Hopefully not too heavy. I don't mind riding in the rain. That's not a big deal. But I don't like, it's hard to do photos and video because I got to keep getting the cameras in and out. And there's just less to see. Getting on and off the bike is kind of a pain in the butt. So, hopefully it'll stay pretty nice. Burn off this fog a little bit.
been a lot of rain here. There's actually some flood warnings, but I think we're going to be okay today. Water is about out to the road there. So lots and lots and lots of this just kind of 30, 40, 25 mile an hour turns. Ooh. Ugh. That was a bit rough. So you got to be careful. The roads aren't the best shape, and obviously there's some wash down on the roads because of the rain. And can't quite push like, I'd like to push a little harder if it were dry, but it is wet, so I can't go too fast. That being said, you don't want to, this is not a kind of road where you want to push it and really test your skill, because you don't know what's around the corner. There's some big trucks that use this road, and sometimes the road just kind of deteriorates a little bit, but it's pretty freaking nice. And I will say, today, as I said, about 260 miles, which doesn't sound like much, but it's all, I think, going to be like this, which is a lot more work and a lot slower. So it's going to be a full day of riding to do with the whole Trail of Dragons. This is great. Woo, look at that. Try and keep my feet dry. Hopefully there's nowhere with the roads washed out. That would be ugly. What I've been talking about is, you got 15 and 20 mile an hour turns, then you pop out into some little residential pocket. There's a trailer there with some additions. Then, I don't know if we have a little, any stores or anything, we'll see. It's a really nice mix of in and out of civilization and in and out of super tight and twisties. But the road's good everywhere. Man, it's pretty fun. Elizabeth. Let's take a look at that real quick. This is kind of cool. Not much to it. That's the end of it. Let's turn it back around and go this way. Grantsville. Got a coffee shop too, but it's not open. That's a cool place. Could be something really cool. And, of course, a Dollar General. Gotta have a dollar store. All right. Let's get back out on the fun road. The roads have dried off substantially, so I'm actually able to get after it a little bit more. And, I don't think you can see it with the helmet, but I am grinning. These roads are phenomenal. Now, keep in mind, or I should mention, there are still places where there's like gravel that's washed out on the road. Things like that. So you gotta be, while you're getting after it, you gotta be at a speed where you can react pretty quickly or something like that. And as I mentioned, or maybe I didn't mention, speed limits drop quickly. So 55 most of the time, you get a quick 40 and then often down to 25 when you're at a junction or when you're coming into a more populated area. So you got to be real careful. I feel like it's ripe for speeding tickets. It's probably where the cops sit. That's where I'd sit if I was a cop looking to bust some people. So you just got to pay attention to that. Make sure you bring it down and probably within 5 miles an hour when you're in those slower spots. Trailer with the, oh, it's a post office. That's, I'm gonna have to take a picture of that. It's a U.S. Post Office that's actually a trailer. That's pretty West Virginia.
If you're a fan of Mustache Moto, you know I love my Qi AIO6 LTE. I've tested about 15 CarPlay devices, and I'm always happy to click this one back on the BMW. So I'm really excited to say that Qi is sponsoring this adventure. If you're interested in ordering one, links in the description.
So this is kind of unusual to get stuck behind somebody with West Virginia plates that's going below the speed limit. West Virginians know how to ride, know how to drive, and they're used to these mountains. And generally, they're doing pretty dang well. So you might get caught behind one, but they're usually going fast enough that it's not obnoxiously slow. Of course, you get some tourists occasionally, but back on these roads, back on 16, I don't think you're going to get many. It's kind of off the beaten path unless you're looking for something. I was getting kind of sleepy, just kind of winding along the river there. So I found a little pavilion here. Still on the river, but nice and dry. I'm going to lay down and take a 10-minute nap. Sometimes you just got to do it.
A few minutes later.
I'm ready to roll now.
All right, that was a great 10-minute power nap. I'm feeling like $1,000,000 again. And I'm going to get on down the road to Fayetteville. Just pulled a quick U-ey because there's some really cool waterfall here, Cathedral Falls. So I'll pull over and get a quick shot of that. Let's check it out. All right, we're between Gauley Bridge and Fayetteville. And this is one of the tasty bits. Look at these turns. Ooh, I wish it was dry. It'd be a little bit more fun. Although, it's still pretty good. Now, you will get more traffic along here than some of those other spots. Northern parts of 16. There's a lot of people with kayaks that are going to run the new river. I don't know if you get it. I don't think you get any raft traffic up here. Woohoo! Nice. Passing lane if you need it. That's helpful. Thankfully, I don't. If you've never been in the New River area, New River Gorge area, it is phenomenal, incredibly beautiful. You can do kayaking, you can do whitewater rafting. They have the New River Gorge Bridge, which is the highest bridge of its type in the country. You actually can do a walk underneath it, which is kind of cool. All sorts of stuff. Getting a little foggy on the outside there because of all the mist. So it's a great place to come spend some time around Fayetteville. That is West Virginia still. All day today is West Virginia. And of course the riding. Woo! Unbelievable. I got a cool thing we're gonna go check out now. We're gonna hop off of 16 for just a few minutes, but I think it'll be worth it. We are in the New River Gorge National Park, headed towards the town of Thurmond. Yeah, it's a really long one-lane bridge here. We'll have to wait for this person to come through. Assume it's the New River. It's pretty cool. So the town of Thurmond behind me is not actually a ghost town. It's not totally abandoned. There are 4 people who live here. So it is the smallest town in West Virginia, or I guess town, municipality, I don't know exactly what the designation is. The smallest one in West Virginia. It is now surrounded by National Park Service. I mean, part of it is National Park Service. And then there are a few lots that are privately owned within. I assume that's where the people are actually living. And National Park Service has plans to demolish the historic buildings, or at least some of them. So the town was big when coal ran the locomotives. So it was a coaling station for trains coming through. It started declining when railroads switched to diesel, quit using coal, which makes sense. And then when the Park Service came in, that was kind of the second decline, and the Park Service has been buying up property in here from people as they move out. So Park Service owns the area. The buildings are still kind of cool. Lots of people coming through here. It's actually, the downtown stuff is in better shape than I expected. I thought the buildings would be a little bit more abandoned looking, but the storefronts, bank front, they all look pretty darn good. One of the railroad tracks at least is still active. There's the old coaling station. And of course you see plenty of tourists. Let's go through downtown here. Just to see what it looks like. Mullins. Mighty Mullins. It's the Mighty Mullins Mini Mall. Interesting little town. This place is kind of cool, Stonehaven. I need to stop for a few pictures.
little spooky. I'm out of here.
So the AI06 LTE, the Chi-Chi that I'm using, the CarPlay, it automatically creates a track of everywhere you've gone. And you can download it, you know, on a daily basis and see what your ride was, where you went, which is really cool. And I'll download these and I'll post them and have a link in the description so you can actually go to the exact route that I rode if you want to, you know, download it into your GPS, or if you just want to see where I went exactly. Now, I just thought of a great idea, and I'm going to suggest it to Chi-Chi. They're usually pretty responsive to me. If they had a function where you could just click on the screen and save a location, so like that really funky rehab place that I just photographed, if you just hit a button, it would put a star as a point of interest on your track. That way it'd be real easy to find down the road. Obviously with that, it's probably pretty easy to find, but like a waterfall or a cool road or something like that, it'd be great just to be able to click and save it and know you got it there. Sterling Drive-In Restaurant. I wonder if they're still in business. Not much in the way of downtown businesses. Oh! You know what this is? This is the first ever parking garage, I do believe. Man, this section would be absolutely choice, except they've graded it to repave. So it's rough, which is fine, but then there's also loose rock and scrapings on it in spots, so you can't take a chance, and it's really hard to see where you can see it there, but some places where it's graded, it's hard to see. You can't tell if there's gravel there or not. So obviously in the turns, you got to be real careful. But when they get this done, woo, buddy, it's going to be amazing. Welcome to Virginia. All right, that's it. That is the Trail of Dragons. 260 some or more, depending on how you do it, miles. Fantastic road. Oh my goodness. Takes a long time though, because there's a lot of twists and turns in there. I absolutely love the way you dip into little hollers and you go through towns and you go through little hamlets. You got some really cool stuff you get to see. Stop a little, once or twice. I think I made some pretty cool pictures. Now the rain kind of sucked. That slowed me down and that made it a little less fun. Mainly because it's hard to stop and get out and take pictures and do the things I like to do when it's raining, because you got to take everything off, put it back on. But Trail of Dragons from St. Mary's, West Virginia to the Virginia border. Highway 16 south, do the whole thing, or do it North Virginia to St. Mary's. Unbelievable. Great road. So come back, subscribe. You'll see the rest of the Dragon roads, and get out there and ride.